You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the number one horse podcast in the world. Here is your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
Well, I'm back, and I'm still in Ocala, Florida, and I'm still Glenn the Geek. Happy Monday, everybody.
I'm Jamie Jennings in Norman, Oklahoma. You're listening to Horses in the Morning on the Horse Radio Network for Monday, February 12th, episode 3363, brought to you today by WERM Flooring. Good morning, horse people.
I have good news and bad news for you on this Monday morning. First, the bad. It's Monday. But the good news is really good. Jamie and Glenn are here to guide you through another week filled with horse talk and a whole lot of fun. Welcome to Horses in the Morning.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Monday morning, and we hope that you're recovering from last night. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we're back together, and we're going to fill you in on I'm going to fill Jamie and all of you in on the latest listener cruise and what happened there. We had some exciting stuff. And Jamie, you're going to get caught up on one of your old horses.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yeah, so the first Mustang I ever got from the prison was named Thor. And before I moved to Arizona, I sold him to this young girl who'd been taking lessons with us because there was just such a deep connection between the two of them, and it broke my heart to take him away. So
yeah, you loved Thor. He was a good baby.
God, I love him. And so, I took him up through novice eventing. And so I sold him to Charlie, this young lady, and she started taking him to Pony Club stuff. So we're going to get caught up with some exciting news there.
And we have other exciting news in the post show and the auditor post show. We had a first on the Horse Lovers Cruise, a proposal. And we're having the future bride on in the post show. So you hang around for that. I think you're going to enjoy it. So Super Bowl last night, I was up later than way past my bedtime, Jamie. But you couldn't go to bed in last night's Super Bowl. The first half was kind of boring, but the second half and the overtime made up for it. It was good.
So there were plenty of ways. I was at a Super Bowl party. My brother-in-law hosts a Super Bowl party, and he gets all the gambling things done. So I was gambling. So I actually had a financially vested interest in the game last night. And it was heads or tails. Is Reba's song going to be over a minute and a half or under a minute and a half? Like, who's going to have the first touchdown? First
you did the fun stuff.
That whole long list. And then they have like this by squares thing. It was super fun. So I had a vested interest until the end. And like you said, yeah, the first half, it went into overtime. And I was like, I'm not like a football expert or person really, but I'm like, if they would have played this hard,
I know,
in the beginning, it wouldn't have gone in. I was like, what just happened? Like, it just ramped up. Like, everybody's working really hard now.
And the new overtime rules are bizarre and kind of weird. So I was trying to keep up with what was exactly going on. But first, before we get into that, we have to talk about something important. Is every year your dogs make official predictions. And
yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so last year, the Kansas City Chiefs won, and we had just Homer at the time. And so we put, the Chiefs and I can't remember who was last year. Eagles, yeah. And a cookie on each piece. And Homer went straight to the Chiefs and picked it. And so he got it right. So this year we did it again, but we added Winks the puppy. And so we had Winks pick and then Homer picked. And both of them picked the San Francisco 49ers. So I was like, I bet heavy on their predictions and I lost all the money. But it's so fun to do that.
They have about the same track record of Puxatawny Phil does. 50,
well, yeah, you know what? They're 50-50. So that's good, right?
So you might've lost a little money because of Homer.
It's totally Homer and Winks' fault. I actually came home and they sat down in front of me and I was like, listen, you guys are grounded. That's it. Straight to bed.
Plus, I can't afford your food anymore. So.
Yeah, no food. We're going to take a hit this month, guys.
That's funny. So let's talk about other things other than football. Let's talk about, the halftime show. Look at me. I am not an usher. anything really because it's not my demographic. So how was the halftime show?
Oh my gosh. See, I'm from Atlanta and Usher's from Atlanta. So it was really, really like to me, like he's like an older guy. Yeah, and then he pulls his shirt off and you're like, he's not
still
that
looks
old.
pretty good.
Like, man, that's awesome. Like he's kind of an Atlanta icon and staple and it was fun to see him there. But then when Alicia Keys came out and sang, I was like, oh, and then I'm sorry. And then Ludacris came out and I was like, it's all good now. Luda's here. Like, and Luda's an Atlanta boy too. So it was really, really fun. I loved the show. I mean, and the dude is like roller skating and stuff. Like, come on. So there was the Atlanta connection for the halftime show, which I loved. I don't know a ton of his music, but I mean, if you don't know the song, yeah, then you've been living on an island. I don't know. And so when he did that, and then, but now I'm in Oklahoma, and I mean, there's no more of a darling in Oklahoma than Reba McEntire.
Oh,
so
yes. Who looks fantastic for 68, by the way.
God, it's amazing.
I had to look up her age, and apparently half the world looked up her age, because I always thought she was like 75.
You like type in how, and they're like, how old is Reba McEntire?
No, everybody looked up their age. Apparently, it was the most searched for thing in Google last night.
What I learned by reading this morning was Reba actually was discovered while singing a national anthem at a rodeo here in Oklahoma.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And if this is true, I mean, you know, it's on the internet, but apparently the belt buckle she wore last night, they had a picture side by side and she was wearing the belt buckle when she was discovered. And it was like her dad's belt buckle that he won at a rodeo. So I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like too amazing. So I don't know if that's true, but I want to believe it in my heart. And so I'm going to go with it. But I did see the picture of her young and old wearing the same belt buckle. Oh my God, it just tugged at my heartstrings. And so I thought the whole thing, I did see something really funny. And it was, I loved watching Taylor Swift's boyfriend at the Usher concert last night. That was really fun.
There were a lot of those memes. A lot of, you know, it's funny. All these diehard football fans busting on Taylor. It's not her fault that the TV is showing her all the time.
I know,
she would
right?
probably prefer that they didn't. So,
I saw like there's a video of her.
She
walking
doesn't need
out
publicity.
Oh yeah, I saw a video of her walking out of the game and one game before, and they were like, "You're ruining football, Taylor," and she's like, "I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm just here."
I don't get why people are so angry with her.
Although her boyfriend's probably going to get fined for manhandling the coach at the beginning of the game there.
Yeah, it was definitely some heated moments. Again, I didn't see all of it. I was at a party, but I did see some of the commercials, and I did. You know what? Here's how you know when there's a good commercial is when there's a party of like 40 people and everybody gets quiet during one.
Well, my guess is that didn't happen too often during
one time.
Yeah, I was going to say.
One time, the whole room got quiet, and it was, do you want to take a guess?
The Tom Brady commercial.
It was this.
I don't even remember what it was for, but I know it was Tom Brady
Donuts,
when J-Lo was in it.
Jennifer Lopez, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Tom Brady. That by far was my favorite commercial. I actually even rewatching it this morning, I laughed out loud at Matt Damon's line. So that was definitely my favorite. That was the one that got everybody quiet. Yeah. So that's how I gauge it.
Oh, it wasn't the Chinese company that sells crap goods commercials that ran about 25 times.
I did on Friday. I did a whole thing on what these things cost and how much Velveeta was being consumed, and which, by the way, somebody brought Velveeta cheese dip, and it's still disgusting, just so anybody knows. But there was like 7.5 million pounds of Velveeta served yesterday. It was stupid. But the commercials cost $7.5 million
so
for
that
one
Chinese
ad.
Company times 5 or 6.
Yeah.
A fortune.
And people are saying it was the worst ad in the whole Super Bowl. Yeah.
It just looked like they spent $29 making it.
Well, and nobody buy from there, you guys. It's terrible. It's garbage. Okay.
And it definitely is owned by the Chinese. So do not.
Yeah.
We just our opinion. But.
Chad just
I have had people that bought and had terrible experiences with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with Amazon myself. I'm going to hang out there. But all right, there you go. And then the Budweiser commercial. It seems like they played the half abbreviated version of it. I only saw
Yeah.
it once. The main version's like a minute. I think they only played the 30-second version because it was like over. It's like,
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad to see the horses back and the doggy back.
I came out of the bathroom and Chad's like, "You missed the horse commercial." I'm like, I saw that online already.
About 2 weeks ago. All right, let's do some daily winnies now that we've covered the Super Bowl thoroughly here.
I mean, that's breakdown for you right there, people.
On our sports show right here. Only one birthday today, and that's Justine, host of Heels Down Happy Hour. Happy birthday to Justine. We hope you have a terrific day.
My daily Whitney goes out to our auditor family. I've been asking a lot of questions recently, and one of the questions I asked was to help me with the mud. Outside of my barn, when it rains, it just pools and it's just disgusting and gross, and I've had so many great suggestions. Patty was saying screenings and sent me videos of hers, and then a bunch of people said these Han plastic mud control grids.
Yeah, we did ads for them for a while.
Oh, well, we should do it again because I bought it.
Did you?
I bought a
And you made
pallet.
Chad dig it all up and put them in?
Well, these you don't really have to dig up. We kind of just took the tractor and just scraped across it, and I set them up, and then it has rained for 2 days now and snowed. So I used them this morning, and I was very grateful. And what I realized is I need even more.
So you put them at the doorways, the gates?
I put them they're like little squares, and they just kind of like link together. You don't have to snap them together or anything. And so I put them outside the barn doors. Like when the horses walk out, they have Dutch doors. When they walk out the Dutch doors, it's like, squishing. And so I put 4 there. So it's like a little doormat. And all of them are totally cool with it, except for my wussy Andalusian Miles, who tries to jump over it every time.
It sounds to me like you need about 100 more.
Yeah. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it bigger of a space so he can't jump over it. And he's going to have to face his
He'll just never leave the barn again.
Yeah. I live here. It's fine. Yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody for answering all my questions and giving me the suggestion. These things are heavy duty and they're pretty cool. So time will tell, but so far so good. This morning I was a lot less muddy when I came up to the house.
Does your trailer or barn bake under the summer heat? Are leaks turning your interior into a monsoon zone? Well, hold your horses or park your trailer. Say goodbye to scorching surfaces and leaky ceilings with Seal and Chill roof coatings. This revolutionary silicone-based coating creates a barrier against heat and the wet. First, it seals your roof tighter than a drum, stopping leaks before they start. Second, it reflects back nearly 90% of the nasty UV rays, keeping your trailer or barn up to 60 degrees cooler on a blistering day. Save on air conditioning costs, extend the life of your roof, and say sayonara to soggy interiors. Seal and Chill works like magic on trailers, RVs, barns, buildings, you name it. With RVs, there's always roof leaks. This is a wonderful thing.
Really?
Oh, yeah, all the time. That's the biggest problem, and then it gets mold all over the inside of your trailer. So ditch the duct tape and buckets. Invest in a long-lasting peace of mind with Seal and Chill. It's applied by pros for a flawless finish and is only $7.50 per square foot. That's a steal for cooler, drier, and happier trailer or barn, which means happier horses and people. And it's done by our friends over at WERM Flooring. Yes, now they can do your floor and your roof. Head on over to wormflooring.com to find a dealer near you or give WERM Flooring Systems a call at 800-350-7564. Ask about Seal and Chill. So I wanted to just do a little update here on last Wednesday's show. We had a little bit of an issue with that sound file, the Monty recording, but it is fine now. Jennifer is putting that episode out today, so you'll get a bonus 2 episodes today. One of them is the one Jamie did last Wednesday.
Listen. It's basically Glenn went on vacation and just left everything to me, and it all fell apart. And so I'd also like to apologize for the audio on Friday. It was a great show, but it sounded terrible. And That I can't do anything
We're never
about.
leaving Jamie alone again.
Yeah, because it was all my fault. All of it, every bit of it. I'll own it. Sure. That was sarcasm, people. So sorry about that, and sorry about Wednesday. Wednesday's out, and Friday.
We've done 3,300 of these things, and not too many have been screwed up. So
Yeah, but they were all screwed up when you were gone on vacation, and I was broadcasting from
never
a
again
potty
will
chair.
I go away. Anyway. We did go away in the cruise. We had about 40 listeners. All had a fantastic time. Everybody had a great time. They were all saying, "When's the next one?" And about half of them were people that had been on cruises before. Some of them had been to Monty's. You've met some of them. So they had been at Monty's. Gwen was there from last year, and a couple of the others that you have met out at Monty's. So
She's so fun too.
yeah, she was a lot of fun. And everybody had a great time. They all got dressed up. I mean, for dinner on fancy night, they got dressed up really. It's so weird to see horse
You
people
did
dressed
too.
up.
I saw you in a suit.
I had a tan suit. I was kind of rocking the Don Johnson Miami look.
You were shopping
shirt.
at Goodwill before their trip.
Pink tie, pink shirt, but I didn't look as good as some of the others. They were all decked out. So it was good to see horse people like with clean hair, their hair down out of a ponytail, and with nice clothes on.
I'm sorry. I misheard all of that. That doesn't seem possible now.
And everybody was comparing how much weight they gained after. And the average I could tell was about 7 pounds. So a lot of weight gain. I was shocked at the number of our group that went to the gym every morning and worked out. Which it's an enormous gym on this ship. But I was shocked. They went to Zumba class. They were doing abs workouts. Dedication of these horse people.
So let me get that straight. You found out about this.
I
You
didn't
weren't
do it.
there
No, I
and ran
didn't
into
go to any of
everybody. Gotcha. So now one video that you posted was my worst nightmare, which is there was like a storm.
Well, yeah, we had about 3 days of not perfect weather. And the one day the winds were blowing about 40 miles an hour. And on this ship, because it's so big, you didn't notice it as much. If we had been on one of the smaller ships, it would have been much worse. But nobody got sick. You rocked around a little, and you had to maybe hold on to the wall occasionally. But this ship just kind of, you didn't notice it as much. You could spend all your time inside in this ship and never see the outside.
Yeah, but I was watching. You were filming the pool, and it was looked like a wave pool.
I know.
And
I
it was
really
on.
wanted to get in it, but they had it closed.
That looked
like
fun. Oh.
You know what? Everybody's using now. They have these little patches you put behind your ear that are much better than the old patches you had on your head. And apparently people didn't get sick. We didn't see a whole lot of sick people. Not like the last cruise we did with the group. So it was better. Yeah, we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. I've seen Nassau as many times as I want to see Nassau now. Jamaica as many times as I want to see Jamaica now. We need to find some new place to go because I'm kind of tired of those two islands. But it was beautiful.
That is the most appropriate equestrian first world problem I've ever heard. I'm so tired of the Bahamas and Jamaica.
Yeah, kind of tired of Bahamas. I need to go somewhere else now. There you go. There's my first world problem of the day. Let's talk about Cosequin and then get to your guests.
I'm so excited to talk to them. Well, Cosequin ASU joint and hoof pellets contain quality ingredients to support joint and hoof health and leave out the fillers, molasses, and alfalfa, all while delivering the taste horses love. The colors of their ingredients shine through for a difference you can see. Visit CosequinEquine.com. I am so excited to welcome to the show Jill and Charlie Warner. And Charlie was the sweet angel, tiny little thing who got to purchase Thor back in 2018, I think. And so she's not so tiny anymore. Probably still as sweet though, right? Right, Jill?
Most of the time. But she is taller than me now, so she fits Thor a little bit better than she did back when she was 10.
I love it. So, just a little backstory. My husband and your husband were fighter pilots together in the same squadron. So that is how Jill and I met. And then she had this sweet little baby, Charlie. And so Charlie started taking riding lessons with me and was part of the farm. And fast forward all these years, I mean, so much happened to us when we were living in Arizona, but basically Charlie fell in love with Thor. And I just, even though I love Thor, I couldn't take him away from her. So on Charlie's birthday, Jill, why don't you tell what we did for Charlie on her birthday? What you did?
Yeah, sure. So actually, I guess the other piece of it too, it wasn't only her birthday, but you were leaving Arizona and moving to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And we had expected you to take Thor with you. And so she thought Thor was leaving about 4 days after her birthday. And she had no idea that he was staying with her. So we had, with the help of some of the other girls that boarded at your barn, a scavenger hunt set up around the West Valley, which started at our house, and it gave her a clue that then led to the little local bakery where they had made a cupcake cake that looked like Thor, and there was a clue inside the box that led to my parents' house, and then on to a couple other farms, and finally ended in your backyard where Thor had a gigantic birthday bow around his neck, and a lot of our barn friends and family and everyone were waiting there to see her get Thor for her 10th birthday. So that's kind of how it played out. She really just adored Thor and was just heartbroken that you guys were moving because she was going to miss you and Chad and Lucas and then the horse. Oh my goodness. So it was, it was quite an event. As a matter of fact, it pops up on Facebook every year and I reshare it and we get, lots of tears over it.
I know. It was probably one of the coolest equine things I've been a part of. So Charlie, why don't you talk a little bit about your life with Thor now, and we'll save the best part for the end. But start with kind of some of the things you've been through with him.
Okay, so honestly, it's been a little bit of chaos in a good way with us. In the beginning, it was definitely he was teaching me and we were learning the ropes, and he was the one keeping me safe. And I think definitely as I started to get to know him more and I progressed more as a rider, it kind of changed a little bit. And once he figured out that I could kind of take care of myself up there, he was like, "All right, let's go have some fun." You know what I mean? And so it's definitely it's been a big kind of journey with him and kind of teaching him and him teaching me, and just like it's a very almost like symbiotic relationship we've got in a way because we help out each other with so many different things. But honestly, it's more than I could ever ask for because I don't know a lot of people that have the same kind of bond with their horse that I do. And I think that's really what helps me to be able to be the kind of equestrian I am, because I have such a great foundation with him that it just helps me rub that off with other horses as well.
Oh, I love that. Well, but one of the things I remember the most was, Thor he's a big boy. Like he's a 16-hand giant tank of a Mustang. And I remember when you were 10 years old, your mom called me and said that you went to your first pony club rally and all the pony club people were like, no, she can't come in here with the Mustang that big. And what happened?
Well, I did. Yeah, I think that's a very good description of what happened. We just said, well, too bad. We're going to do this anyways. And honestly, Thor and I, we've kind of built up a bit of a reputation over here. He's a little bit famous in his own way because just as you said, I was this tiny little kid on this giant Mustang. Heck, I probably only went halfway up his shoulder.
Yeah. And I remember your mom called and said he was the best one at the whole rally.
Oh, yeah. He was the best one at the whole rally. He's just, we've kind of built up a little bit of a reputation for ourselves in that way because everybody knows Charlie M. Warner and Thor the Mustang, that gigantic Mustang that just always does so well.
So one of the things I did with all the Mustangs that I had, or the two that I competed, Thor and Zeus, is I made their show name Thor the Mustang and Zeus the Mustang. So it would bring awareness to the fact that these horses are out here doing this and they're Mustangs. So you kept that name?
I did. Yeah. Honestly, I really liked it.
I love it. Well, it is. Go ahead.
Sorry. And we also kind of kept with that theme with our other two horses, Beauregard and Patriot. So when they get registered and we start doing shows and stuff with them, they're also going to be Beauregard the Mustang and Patriot the Mustang. And I think it especially helps out with Thor because he's just such a big horse that and I mean, his brand is like, not super visible or anything. So if you didn't know he was a Mustang, you wouldn't, So it's kind of like, that's a nice way, because when we go into the arena at the Tucson Spring Horse Trials, the announcer goes, okay, this is Thor the Mustang. Oh, that's interesting. You know what I mean? So it adds a little bit of flair, because everybody automatically knows that horse is a Mustang, and it's still competing at the level of some very nice horses. So
I love it. I love it. So you guys have progressed through the levels of Pony Club, and I would like to make the announcement of what is coming up for you in the near future.
Well, so at this past show jumping rally, which was in early February, we qualified to go to the Pony Club Championships this year at the Kentucky Horse Park in July.
Woo! Oh my gosh, Thor the Mustang and Charlie Warner are going to be the Pony Club Nationals. This is like the coolest thing ever. I'm so excited. I saw that. I was like, oh my God, I have to get you on to tell the story, because this is just awesome.
Yeah. Well, and the other part about it too is we have 2 more events coming up. So we're going to the Tucson Spring Horse Trials, and then we're also going to a dressage rally. So we are planning to qualify for show jumping, dressage, and 3-day eventing. And we're planning to go for eventing, but we just want to qualify for all 3 of them to kind of get that out of the way there. So we've got those options open. But yeah, it's really exciting, because this is like the first step on being able to do some really cool stuff on this horse. So yeah, I'm super excited.
I'm so excited for you. And Thor, when he came to me, I got him at the Northern Nevada Correctional Center, which you guys have now since then. Mustangs are potato chips. Y'all went back and bought 2 more from that place as well, Beauregard and Patriot. But the cool thing about it is his name was Freight Train when I got him, and it was applicable. I didn't know, because you're just buying on an auction. And he was a total runaway. I mean, he was a runaway. And if it weren't for the ability to drive him to Monty Roberts and spend a couple weeks with Monty, I just really struggled with this problem. And you couldn't get on him. He would bolt when you get on him. And when you do get on him, he's going to bolt anyway. And thanks to Monty, with his patience, just helped me transform him into the horse that you fell in love with. And now you've taken him and just completely run up the ladder. I'm so impressed and excited and proud of you, girl. That's awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, so put your mama back on the phone, because I want to get her perspective on this. And then I believe you have to get to school.
Yeah, she's late for school already, so she's enjoying it.
That's awesome. So first of all, thank you so much, and congratulations for being such an awesome mom. You're letting your daughter
thank you.
Live her dreams. I mean, you guys were living, you're a fighter pilot and a real estate agent, and you're living now on a farm. You've provided for your whole family. You bought 3 Mustangs. Your daughter's going to Pony Club Nationals. What could you have imagined horses transforming your life like this?
Well, yes and no. So actually, the first time Matt and I wanted to buy a horse, we were at the horse auctions in Clovis, New Mexico, and we both kind of grew up with horses, and it was probably 2001. And we realized that with a long military career in front of him, there was no way that we were going to be able to make it work. And so we just kind of, walked away from that. We both had just ridden very casually, backyard ponies that our parents had. My parents didn't settle down until I was almost a senior in college, and that's when they bought their first horses that they had on their own. So, we had a little bit of experience, but certainly Thor the Mustang changed our lives in a wonderful and very expensive way. As a matter of fact, Charlie just likes to say things like, my mom just bought a bigger horse trailer so we can go to Kentucky.
Don't they all?
But, we had him boarded at a wonderful facility near us. And then we wanted Charlie to start being able to go on trail rides, but we didn't have a second horse. And so we're like, well, we better buy a second horse so one of us could go with her. and then only one of us could go. So then it was, well, I guess we need a third horse that we can both go with her. And at that point, it just made sense to move on to our own farm. So we actually live not too far from your old house in Waddell. And yeah, what a huge change. But it's been so wonderful to have. It's just been wonderful. So, we kind of transitioned out of the military, and we always had this close network there. And that has just been replaced with our horse family, the pony club, people, our other neighbors that have horses, the trainers that we know around here and the other people that we've done little, horse adventures with. And so it's really been great. It made that transition of Matt's retirement and into the airlines. Like, we found a whole new family, and it's a whole bunch of people that have horses. So it's been a lot of fun. And I think that you saw, when Hank graduated from high school last May, he actually was featured in the graduation video riding Thor down our street. And, Thor definitely is a bit of a local celebrity. And he's been in high school graduation videos and, all kinds of crazy stuff. So he is really just, it was a life-changing moment. And we knew it was coming. We could feel it coming. We sent Charlie for lessons and thought when she really had to groom a horse and clean up manure and all kinds of things like that, the charm would go away, and it didn't. So we knew we were in trouble at that point.
I love it. But you know what? Like, as a mom, you've been nothing but supportive and awesome. And by the way, for those who Glenn, do you know that Jill actually is also a beekeeper and I'm out of honey, by the way, like all these years of honey I bought from you. I need some more.
We got to get you on a separate time just to talk about beekeeping, because a lot of our listeners have asked or have showed interest in having their own hives. So
yeah, bees are incredible, but that's like a 3-hour show.
No, we need to do that separately. You got to get your kid to school. So we got to, yeah.
Well, I am so excited and so proud, and I'm going to do my best to try to, because Lucas and Charlie, like Lucas loves Charlie. So I think what I'm going to try to do my best is try to get there and cheer you guys on. And I know that we're going to have a bunch of listeners that are going to be there as well. So he'll continue to maintain his celebrityness as he goes to Pony Club. I'm so excited and proud of you guys, and congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. And, I just have to say thank you for noticing with Thor the bonds that he and Charlie had. It is really, when you see them in person, it is really just something else. And we've been around a lot of horses throughout the years. And, our parents have, I think my mother-in-law still has 5 at her farm. And this is something I've very rarely seen. Like, they will go do, they'll be in show jump, they'll finish their jumps in the arena, and she immediately drops the reins. And one of the other kids a few weeks ago said, "Oh my gosh, she dropped her reins." And the response from another adult was, "They always do that because he's fine with her." And she goes over the last jump, drops the reins, and they just kind of peter out of the show jump arena. She hops off of him, and he walks next to her. And as much as it drives me crazy, she doesn't always hold on to the reins when she hops off. And he will walk next to her, and he stands next to us in our chairs and eats our snacks. And definitely not the wild Mustang freight train that you picked up. He may be. He certainly acts more like a Labrador Retriever these days.
Well, it's hard to not notice the bond that they had. Just side note, when I was getting packed up to move, I'm taking my horse, like, he's my horse. And so we're going to move to Arizona. And I was looking through like a bunch of Lucas's stuff, and I found this drawing, and it looked just like Thor. And it had his name at the bottom, and there were hearts drawn all around him. And I was like, "Lucas, what is this?" And he's like, "Oh, Charlie did that." And I was like, "Oh my God, I can't take this horse from this girl." Like, what? This is gutting. Like, you can't take this horse from this sweet baby. Like, oh my God, she loves him as much as I do. And you know what? I'm old. She's young. She needs to have him. And so you and I talked about it. And it was just like, I think you said to me, but also jogged my memory, is you were like, "Hey, when you leave, we're going to need to find a horse. So just let us." And I was like, "Wait, you guys want a horse? You actually want one?" "Yes, we want one." Oh, and then I found the drawing and I was like, I got punched in the face. Like, you idiot.
Oh.
Obviously, give this baby this horse. And
well, it couldn't have worked out better for Charlie, and I think for Thor too. He's got his girl. You know, I occasionally ride him, and he's annoyed by it. He really loves it.
You know, we have said in the past that Mustangs tend to be a one-person horse, and apparently Thor found his person.
Yep.
Yes, he did, and he will tolerate the rest of us, particularly if we give him treats. But he adores her. So, you know, I'm not an eventer. I am getting a little older and have no intention of jumping over anything. But I know if I needed to, he'd be like, nah, whatever. But with Charlie, he's 100% in.
So great. Oh, great. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming in. Charlie, get to school, for crying out loud. And Jill, love you, mean it. And I'm so proud of you guys.
Well, thank you so much. We hope to see you in Kentucky.
I'll see you there.
Your horse has unique feed needs, and Purina has you covered. From breeding and growing to senior horses, from performance horses to easy keepers, and everything in between. Purina has an extensive portfolio of research-backed options for your horse. There's no shortcut for quality nutrition. Cheaper isn't cheaper if it doesn't work. Put Purina's research to the test. Find optimal nutrition at any level at your local Purina retailer or visit purinamills.com to learn more. Jamie, do you remember, was it last year, that the listeners got together and they decided Scooter needed his own alcoholic beverage, his own drink?
I think I remember that.
They came up with this concoction that has a lot of alcohol in it, about 4 different kinds, and also has something called Kinky. And they named it Scooter's Kinky Pony. Well, I had never had a Scooter's Kinky Pony until Obi, one of our auditors that was on the cruise, flew in from California with bottles of Scooter's Kinky Pony. And by the way, she took the Kinky bottle, which is the one alcohol in it, and she wrote Scooter's Pony underneath. So I have a bottle that says Scooter's Kinky Pony.
How'd you sneak those on the cruise?
She didn't on the cruise. We had them the night before we left for the cruise at the pizza party. And she had all these bottles she had snuck onto the airplane, I guess. I mean, and it was, I got to tell you, I had a hangover the next morning. This stuff was wicked. Scooter's wicked. His Kinky Pony drink was really, really strong. And it has like moonshine in it and a couple of different other alcohols. But it was really good, too. So eventually, by the end of this pizza party, I was drinking it out of the bottle. And I regretted that the next day. So,
it always seems like a good idea at the time.
It tasted, it tasted like a fruity drink. And yeah. With a kick.
You love those.
So I got the bottle as a souvenir. She gave it to me, and I'm going to keep this forever. And thank you so much to Obi for doing that and risking your TSA credentials to get them all through. But it was a lot of fun to finally have the drink. I had never made it for myself because literally it would cost you $100 to buy all the alcohol that was in this drink. But she mixed them up ahead of time and brought them along. It was wonderful. So everybody else got to try Scooter's Kinky Pony as well. But now it's time for some equestrian first world problems.
It's time for the weekly look at your equestrian first world problems. This ought to be good.
Well, these are sad tales of woe that are submitted by our auditors. On Sunday, I put up a post on the Facebook page asking people to share, and it's cathartic for most to share these terrible things that they're going through with horses. And so if you want to participate in this, you have to become an auditor. How do they do that, Glenn?
Just go to horsesinthemorning.com and click on the auditor banner. For as little as $3 a month, you too can play along
and support all of us here at the network. So we're going to start with Andrews. He said he applied to ride in a clinic at Equine Affair, but now I have to wait to see if I get accepted. Well, if you get accepted, Andrew, let us know immediately because that's awesome. I can't wait to hear what clinic you're getting in. Here's Obi. Aforementioned Obi. She said, I had a fantastic first time horse lovers cruise and I met so many wonderful people. And now I have to go back and play in the cold mud and get my horse back on his training schedule. Oh my!
You probably have 40 of those comments.
You know what? That's the only one. All of you that put mud, let me say, we all feel you. I mean, I gave a daily one to mud grids.
Yeah, right.
So like we all get it. So that's the last one. That one slipped in there. Charlotte says, and we love Charlotte. She said, I'm horse shopping with champagne tastes and Bud Light pockets. I've never heard Bud Light pockets.
I know, that's a good one. I like that. Charlotte would come up with that one.
Chantel says, I went to 2 tack shops yesterday and both carried manure forks, for which I was mysteriously drawn to, but I didn't buy them. And then I went home and my fork broke. And now I don't have one because I didn't buy one at the store. You listen to that inner female instinct, okay? Let's see. Kaylin says, with this amazing weather, I trotted my coming 3-year-old for the first time and she was perfect. But now it's going to be cold again and I have to choose life. I've had to choose life as well.
That's a t-shirt right there. I had to choose life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I choose life.
I choose life. Yeah.
Another sad cruise tale is Gwen said she had a friend feed her horse. Here we go. I had a friend feed my horse while I was on the cruise. And so I went to feed my horse today and he didn't want to hang out with me. And now I think he likes my friend more than me.
Yeah, I feel you there. Scooter wasn't really interested in me either. So it's like, yeah, who are you? I got fed by the other lady. I'm good.
To me. Tracy says, my horse is too versatile because I want to go on a trail ride with a friend, but the only time she has, I have a barrel race competition that day. Oh, so sorry. You have too many things to do. Kaylee says, I just bought a pony that's broke to drive and she comes March 1st. And I need to buy all new pony gear, but I can't buy everything I want because I spent too much money on the pony. Let's see. This one's terrible. Poor Melanie. I can't go see my 2-year-old horse this weekend because I'm taking my 12-year-old horse to Aiken for vacation. Tanya says, my horse is absolutely thriving on hay, alfalfa, and 1 supplement. But how boring is that? I miss my 3-foot-long Smart Pack strips.
She's not joking. Smart Pack, oh my God, some of those people get like 20 bins.
My last border, I was like, I would have to pull and then move it up and pull and move it up. It was like 2.5 feet long. I was like, what is this?
I know, it's crazy. And that's daily.
Every day. I was like, this is so much plastic waste. So Jennifer says, I needed some retail therapy. So I went to Dover and I bought a bunch of really nice new saddle pads for my close contact saddle. And how many have I ridden in? None, because I can't decide which one to get dirty first.
That's a problem with clothing and saddle pads. You don't want to wear them or use them.
That's true. Mary says, oh, poor Mary. She lives in Wyoming. She said, I missed the only winter fun event, ski-joring practice. Ski-joring? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Ski-joring practice.
Ski-joring's huge now. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Well, she missed it because there was a moose with twins in her paddock. She says, okay, I realize moose in the paddock is probably a real problem, but the first real problem is I couldn't go have fun because of it. Dude, I mean, that moose will murder you, right?
Yeah,
like
mooses are dangerous.
Having a bear. This one sucks.
By the
Alex
way,
says,
can we talk about the moose having twins? They're not small. It's like,
poor girl.
God.
Oh, my vagina hurts. Alex said, I had the saddle fitter out because my horse's body has changed so much for the better. But now neither saddle fits, and now I'm shopping for not 1, but 2 new saddles. That's
no more gaining weight back for you.
Nope. 2 more. Jillian says the weather has been beautiful for the last couple days, and we've been able to hit the trails for days in a row. But I'm now sore. And Carrie, oh God, poor Carrie. She said, I was only supposed to do 15 one-tempi changes in my Grand Prix test today, but my mare was on a roll and threw in 2 extra flying changes. So instead of the judge being impressed by my brilliant riding, she was critical of my ability to count to 15.
That's hard to do when you're riding.
She described some of the test after that. I was like, I'm out. Nope. No, I'm good. I'm going to figure that stuff out. So anyway, thank you everybody for sharing your problems. Sorry, it's abbreviated, but Glenn made me.
Yeah, I made her. Hey, I got to tell you about one other person that was on the cruise because you have a direct relationship to her.
Uh-oh.
How about Joey's mom was on the cruise? Another one of your horses. Corinne was on the cruise, and Corinne loves talk about connections you've made over the years by horses that you've given up that you wanted to keep, but saw a better life for them, or a life with a person that would really spoil them to death. And Joey's one of those. Corinne has, Joey's thoroughbred, right?
Yes.
And so when she got Joey, she had all kinds of health issues. She had a tough year or two, but now she's doing fantastic. They're jumping big. They're also eventers. So I can tell you that Corinne was sitting there. This is how dedicated she is. And she's probably 12, 13. She was sitting there talking to one of the other people on the cruise who was a dressage person, and they were going over the dressage tests, and she was writing them out and everything. So you can feel very proud of that one too.
Oh my gosh. And again, that is like, it's almost like I foresee something like that with Taco Tuesday. That's kind of what I foresee with him. And that's
the Rolex with that horse or Rolex. We're going to, what is it now? Defender. We're going to Defender with that horse. And I was going to watch you there.
Okay, well, maybe, unless I find him a young girl to love him first. Exactly. But yeah, Joey was one of the ones that I got him from the sheriff's department. He was one of the starvation cases, and he was confiscated. Just like Jet, my old event horse. Joey was also one of the ones that came from the sheriff's department. And I mean, years of, he wasn't even started when I got him at 4, and he had quite the tragic backstory. And I mean, I see these are the things that make your heart full as a horse person / animal lover / horse trainer. All the things is that I see this Mustang that was gathered as a 4-year-old stallion who's now taking around at the point where he was started a 10-year-old girl who's learning how to ride and teaching her all the things. And now Joey, this mess of a thoroughbred who's transformed into this lifelong partner for this girl. It just makes my heart so full. And this is probably one of the more fulfilling shows I've done in a while, just hearing these stories. And you guys, I've had probably like last week was probably the toughest week ever in my life. And so to have such a fulfilling Happy Monday show is exactly what I needed.
I tell you, Corinne glows when she talks about Joey. So, and she doesn't stop talking about Joey. So,
well, she's a horse girl. Like we talk about horses. That's what we do.
Yes, it was a lot of fun to see her and to hear all about Joey's antics. And he's doing great. He's healthy now and jumping jumps. So
I know he had a cut himself.
He had a rough time for about a year.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like they didn't give up on him. They nursed him back to health, and she worked so hard.
Corinne is stubborn. She's not one that's going to give up. So good
I love
for her. Tomorrow we have the endurance show, and then later on in the week, Equine Affair. But otherwise, Jamie and I, God willing, will be here with you on Wednesday and Friday. So we'll look forward to chatting with you then. Auditors, hang on. We have a very special guest in the Auditor Show, something that's never happened before.
Time for the Auditor Post Show. We want to remind you that this is not always safe for work or the kiddos. Thanks for hanging around for our nonsense.
All right, auditors, something happened on this cruise that's not happened on all 5 cruises that we've done before, and it was very exciting, and we are going to get the recipient of this exciting thing on right now with us. This is Obi. Her name is Kelly. She goes by Obi on Facebook, so you all know her in the Facebook group as Obi. And you met her at the movement.
Yes.
Good morning, Glenn.
Hey, Kelly, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
All right, I think I know how you are, actually.
Hey, Kelly! Oh my God, this is so exciting!
So
it's really exciting.
All right, don't give away the big news yet. So you came on this cruise. Did you have any idea what was going to happen at the end of the cruise?
Oh gosh, no, not at all. Like not even an inkling whatsoever.
Wow. I was wondering because, Jamie, I spent a good deal of time with the person to be. And
Well, hold on. So you went on the cruise with your boyfriend.
Yes. Yeah. So he is obviously not a horse person, and I had to be like, hey, you want to go on a cruise, which we've never done before, never thought of, and then with a whole bunch of horse people, which he's not into at all or anything. And he was kind of like, I guess so.
Okay.
So how long had you guys been dating?
We've been together for 7 years.
And what's his first name for everybody?
Aaron.
So I got to spend a lot of time with Aaron on this cruise, and what a super nice guy. We had a great time. We had a horse husbands get together, and we spent all night talking about all kinds of weird stuff. But Aaron was terrific. Now, the night we had the horse husbands get together was the night before this event happened, and I got to tell you, we talked about some serious stuff and some funny stuff. He never gave on, but he looked awful smug that night.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is, so he actually had other plans and they got befuddled because of the excursions. So we went on this excursion that was the tubing to the Blue Hole.
Oh, yes.
And when you read the description, it was like, you're going to take a leisurely tubing excursion down a White River, see some historical sites, and then you're going to have lunch, and then we're going to hang out at this Blue Hole where you can explore caves and waterfalls and everything else under the sun. Well, also our boat was late, so even though we are first-time cruisers, so we have no idea what these excursions are all about, the excursion was not as described. They trucked us to the Blue Hole, and what you do is they suit you up in these vests and helmet, and all you're doing is you jump off of 3 waterfalls, and then they load you back up all soaking wet back into a van to drive another 45 minutes to another location. And so it was like boom, boom, boom. And then we had to be able to be back on the boat, even though apparently the boat wasn't going to leave without us. But being first-time cruisers, and the boat is literally leaving in 15 minutes, we were like trying to rush to get back to the boat. And so that was all we were thinking about was this whole time. And it was so funny because he proposed the last night after we had all got together, watched Hero and everything else under the sun. And he proposed that very last night before departure, and I was super excited and everything like that. And then he had to explain that he actually went diving in those blue holes with the ring.
Oh, no.
Was trying to figure out when he could do it at any other point, but because we're just being herded the entire time, there was no real chance.
Yeah, not a lot of romance there.
No. And then it was, when we went through security, I went through, and I was holding all of our stuff, and then he fell back and then grabbed another lady's towel, and I was like, hey, that's not our towel. And the lady's like, it's fine, it's so fine. And I was like, and then I'm like, come on. And I just turned to go run back to the boat. And that's when he actually, because security wouldn't let him go through the checkpoint with it in his pocket, he hid it in a lady's towel. They were kind of in on this whole thing, and I was unaware of all of this going on behind me.
Well, and then, so he proposed to you, and I got to tell you, I don't know where he found the ring, but describe the ring, because I've never seen an engagement ring like this.
Oh my gosh. And so it's amazing, because when I opened the box, when you look down, and so I got super excited. He's like, no, look at it. And I take it out of the box, and if you hold it up, the side profile, it is 2 very detailed horses that are kind of rearing, levating, holding up the diamond ring.
I've never seen anything like this in my entire life.
I know. I'm like, oh my God, it has horses on it. Full on horses.
Well, congratulations. I haven't been able to congratulate you in person. You guys had so much fun on the cruise. I'm speaking for you, but I was with you every day. So, I mean, Jamie, they were the best. You will also win the Best Dressed Award, both of you, for the cruise. There's no question about that. They were dolled up every night.
Yeah. She's got to have some place to wear those fancy clothes.
Exactly. exactly. I said that'll be the last time I will, probably, if we have a chance in another 10 years. Well, I guess maybe for now for a wedding. I wasn't.
Yeah, there you go.
So you had no idea he was going to propose to you at all. Like, I mean, 7 years, weren't you like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are we, what?
I know. No, it's kind of a weird thing. It's one of those things where he's married and divorced and has kids. And I've never wanted kids or anything, so that's not a problem. And then it was like we kind of had these discussions. He was like, I was kind of burned once, and I really don't want to like go through that again. And so it was one of those things where I love the man. I'm not going anywhere else. And so if he didn't want to be married, I was going to compromise to. That's just what we were going to do, was not get married. But
apparently that's changed.
Apparently. Yes.
I mean, that's incredible. And so I backing up to the story of my engagement, I went on a vacation with Chad, and he waited till the very last night to propose to me. And I remember I was like, I was so pissed. I was like, seriously, we've been walking through this beautiful town. You haven't found, we're at the top of the Eiffel Tower and you didn't propose then. And it's like a running joke that I'm mad about him proposing because like he strung me along on this 2-week European vacation, like making me wait the whole time. And I was like, all my friends were like, oh my God, he's going to propose to you. And I was like, oh my God, he's not. Like, I'm going to go home and have to answer to all my friends. Like, oh my God, he didn't propose. And then he proposes in the last night. I'm like, where have you been? Like, you could have made this so much better. I could have been engaged in Europe, not waiting to be proposed to in Europe and miserable. And so were you at all like, why didn't he do it at the beginning?
Well, I actually said, I was like, well, you mean you could have done it in front of, he's like, because we're not like super social on social media or go crazy or whatnot and stuff like that. And so he was like, I was like, you didn't do it in front of like our friends that we met in the cruise and everything? Because he's like, I didn't want to do it in front of a bunch of people. And I was like, well, but they know us at least. It's not like we'll be complete strangers.
I think by the end of this week, we all knew each other pretty well. So.
Yeah, exactly. So he was just not sure and everything because his plan was befuddled. And so he was a little dejected, and so it's
He's
okay.
A sweet guy. He's a sweet guy, and I did just the opposite. I took Jennifer away on a trip, planned to do it later in the trip, proposed immediately because I couldn't wait any longer. So I was just the opposite.
Aw, yeah.
Get it over with, man. Get it over with.
That was part of it too, actually. Well, congratulations to you both. I think
Thank you.
You guys. I mean, there's no question you were a couple. I mean, there's no question about that. And we enjoyed spending the whole week with you. And for the auditors that heard earlier in the show, I mentioned Obi brought Scooter's Kinky Pony. This is the Obi that brought Scooter's Kinky Pony. I have the bottle right here on my desk. So it's empty, but I still have it.
Yeah.
Kicked my butt, that's for sure. Do we remember who came up with the drink in the first place?
I did.
You did, originally.
She did.
Okay.
Yeah. She's the one.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you were the one or you just piggybacked on that. Well, thank you for that. It was fun to finally have the drink. I didn't want to spend the $100 to actually make it, so it was fun.
There you go.
It was fun to have it
for you.
And thank you for not getting caught and arrested on your way with 12 bottles of liquor.
Right.
Now, I being that you and I met at Flag Is Up Farm, they do weddings at Flag Is Up. So, we could meet there again.
That's pushing the horse husband
there
right there.
I don't know. He got me a horsey ring and he accepts all my horse craziness.
Yeah, that's true.
Just keep going.
We're definitely not church wedding people. So.
All right. Well,
Love it.
Thank you, Kelly. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. It was so much fun.
All right,
congratulations.
See you later. Thank you.
Coolest things happen because of our community, with our community. It's so cool. It's just neat.
Well, it's fun that we get to be people doing a podcast and we get to live our life of our listeners as well, which is really awesome.
I'll post a picture of the ring from its side profile with the ponies. I'll post that in the show notes for today so you all get to see it. But it was a lot of fun. Good times. All right, now I got to get back to work though. And you do too. So you have to get back to training horses. You've been sloughing.
Yeah, and then trying to figure out how to deal with. I'm going to put out some more mud grids today. That's what I'm going to do.
All right, we'll see everybody.
All right, bye.
Congratulations. You made it through another post show. Thank you for all your support. Now, go ride your horse.